this situation together. So
Okay.
And
So, oh, go ahead.
I
Mm-hmm.
also think it's just a lack of education too,
yeah,
sex education.
Yeah.
So I have a vasectomy, and I got a vasectomy after our last child, and I don't know you all happy for, but even when I discussed that with my friends, close friends, they was, of course they talk crazy. They didn't even know what they was talking about. They, oh, you lost your manhood, you cut your move off. Oh, you shooting out powder and just saying crazy stuff like yeah. And I just was like just looking at them like y'all just don't even know. And like at first I was like, damn, I shouldn't have said nothing. And then the more they talked and sounded ignorant, I was like, I felt like, yeah, I know something that y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm controlling my destiny with what I just did. Like I know for a fact I'm not about to have no more kids, and I wouldn't have done something about it. And it did not change our sexual activity. It didn't change anything about. We was right back doing it in 2 days. So, it was like men just need to educate themselves on what's going on, a process about their own body. It's a lot that they don't even know about their own body, and it's just funny to me how they think they know so much about a woman's body when they don't even know about their own body. And if they could just educate themselves about the anatomy of a woman's body and their body, it'll probably take the stress off of their woman, because they'll be open to talk to them about it. Because what woman wants to talk to a man that's just ignorant about their body, and they think they know everything because they have, like you said, they have this street knowledge of what men tell them about a woman's body, instead of actually getting the education from a licensed doctor or something like that. And then a woman talking to him about it. It's just like I would think it's a turnoff to a woman if a man just come with some ignorant stuff to tell them about their own body, and they just sweep it down as a fact because their grandfather told them this when they was a little kid. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was told that the more sex you have, the bigger your dick get, and that was a lie. It's stuff that men talk about. This is true. This stuff that men talk about, and you be like, yeah, yeah, because I was smashing women. The more sex you had, and that's not true. So it took me like to about 3 years ago to find that out. But we just need to educate ourselves a little bit more about our body and what's going on, and we can have these conversations comfortably and make everybody's life a lot less stressful.
Yeah. Dora, I agree. Thank you for sharing that, Darwin, and saying
You're
that
welcome.
publicly.
he said, in case somebody missed it, he said to the men who know so much about our bodies, get educated on your body.
Maybe they'll listen to you. I don't know.
What is
They
it that
won't.
they say now? Bars. Bars.
Yeah,
Dorian
oh,
says
yeah.
he not. Dorian says he's not lying. He's talking. Wait, he says he's not lying about talking to friends or homies. They play too much. He says it's definitely a conversation for mature homies. And let me add these stats really fast, and I will go ahead and let you speak. We're talking about male fertility because it's often not talked about. However, it is very important when we discuss pregnancy and when we discuss couples who have issues getting pregnant. One and third of the couples who do have issues getting pregnant can be attributed to infertility in the male partner. Okay, sperm quality is at its best between the ages of 30 and 35, and it reaches its lowest levels after 55. It might take men older than 45 up to 5 times longer to conceive than those 25 and younger. It says the risk of miscarriage, autism, and genetic mutations are also much higher in men after 40. And I'm sharing this because, as we all know, we hear it, especially amongst men, and especially a lot of conversations in social media, that women value decreases over time, and men are asserting that they don't want a woman past 30 or 35 because she's going to have a Down syndrome baby, and she's a Spencer, she's an old maid, not realizing that just like our fertility declines over age, so does theirs, and it's something that we can't ignore, you know, especially since people are getting married at older ages, you know, and you have men who are advocating for marrying younger women. And I'm like, well, these younger women need to also be aware that when they marry an older man, that some issues with fertility may come into play. This is real life. I have linked some of the data in the chat, but most of it comes from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So I just wanted to share that. But Candy, you had something to say.
Yeah, I was gonna just add that part of your question, like as far as why do we not give enough attention, or it's not discussed a lot about male fertility and things like that, is because I think it just boils down to fertility is seen something that's a woman's issue. Like it's seen as something that a woman has to worry about. I feel like a lot of men don't grow up being socialized to be more aware of their part that they play in pregnancy and things like that. Like if you notice how a lot of conversation goes, it's like many times they seem to, it's like they engage with it as though a woman getting pregnant is something that happens to them, not something that they've done. Right? Like they sometimes the conversation is like a tacit, you know, kind of like a like they're a tacit participant, like they're not really, you know, like they didn't have everything to do with it. And like my husband and I have had these conversations as well, and I've just talked about how it's interesting when you're having those conversations that, because I have like brothers and cousins, like I have a lot of male family members, friends, whatever. So I like to talk to people. I like to actually have conversations with people, not just argue with people, or you know what I mean, or just to get a point across or whatever. So I like to really understand other people's viewpoints. And so many of them, it takes so long to get to the point where it's like, you know, you are also in charge of your reproductive decisions and choices and like what you're doing, like who you get pregnant. Like, you know that you're also responsible, like you're in charge. You don't have to get people pregnant. Like, and it's like, just would literally have to have that conversation, and they'll just be like, it'll be like a short circuit. Like, what do you mean? Like, because I didn't want to get them pregnant, and they got pregnant. Like, no, you didn't have to get them. Like, well, I didn't do it on purpose, but you did not do it. You know what I mean? Like there's still a choice in there that I feel like we don't socialize men enough to be like, no, you don't have to just get somebody pregnant. Like, you can make choices, and there are things that you can do to where you're more in charge, where you're not at the mercy of the person that you're sleeping with on whether or not they have a pregnancy or carry it to term. Like, you don't, I have
the favorite line is, I thought she was on birth control, or she wanted me to come in her, or stuff like that. Like, it don't matter what she wanted. Did you want to have a baby? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, how do you know she was on birth control? Did you actually go to the doctor with her to make sure she was on birth control? I know people like to have raw sex, so you know most people like to do that, but it's still ways to prevent having a baby. You know, you can still like make sure she's on birth control, stuff of that nature. Get the parent beat the pills and stuff like that. But you know, I just think a lot of men just have excuses and just want to throw that off on the woman. If she so happens to get pregnant, then hey, go have an abortion. Like, it's just nothing. It's just got an abortion. You know, you knew I didn't want a baby. Nah, you knew you didn't want a baby, nigga. So you should have did what you had to do. What I'm doing something for you for, when that woman might deep in her mind want a baby. So you never know. Like, you don't trust her, trust you.
Yeah. Dorian says, I've been telling younger guys, he says, I'm sorry. Very true. I've been telling younger guys about shooting blanks. When they get older, they all think they have so much time. And they do. I think that, you know, men do other men a disservice when they continuously say things like, oh, you know, I could make a baby till I'm 70. I'm like, okay, you know, just because you can have sex doesn't mean that you will be able to conceive. Now, you might have some older men who have made babies, right? Obviously, right? But your likelihood of doing so decreases over time, just like it does with women, and the health of the baby can be impacted. So it's definitely something that
and the other question becomes, why would you want to? About. You want to be 60 and 70-year-old with a newborn? What kind of
shit? You can't do nothing with your son.
Carrie had a good Oh, go ahead.
I have a friend. He's very conscious of like his age and stuff like that. He said to me the other day, we was having this conversation, that no man in his family has lived over the age of 65. You know, so that in itself, like if you do want to even have a baby at the age 60, just think about your chances of even watching that baby grow up, graduate even from 8th grade is not good. You know, like I will believe everybody will want to have some of these moments with their kid. That, of course, they don't know the moment that they're going to have, but just knowing that you have graduations, you want to walk your daughter down the aisle, things of that nature. I think people envision that when they do have kids. So if you want to wait to 60, 65, you chances are you might not have that, and you know, so it's about
Well, the average mortality rate for Black men is 64.
yeah. So
So it's just something to talk about. You know, we have to get rid of this one-sided conversation that points at women, you know, and a lot of times it's not even a conversation that's rooted in concern for women. It's rooted in shaming women. Oh, look at you, you getting older, you gonna be a geriatric mom, or you gonna have them Down syndrome babies, or you're a Spencer, you're an old maid. And it's not even rooted in a healthy conversation. It's rooted in trying to shame women into doing something that you want them to do. Whether
but some of them babies do be coming out looking like they 23. Y'all better watch it now. We having them babies too old now.
So the point, and I'm not advocating for pushing off, you know, marriage and having children. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying that both men and women have to be aware of everything that goes into having a child, you know, and pregnancy. You know, when we are getting married, you can't just count out the fact that it may be you, it may be your health that, as a man, that is preventing pregnancy. And if you ignore that for 2-3 years, you know, that's 2-3 years that you've lost that perhaps you could have used to be trying to focus on the right thing so that you can, you know, increase your chances of getting pregnant. You know, and I also think that women need to be educated about this so we can start setting some stuff straight when people are trying to, you know, belittle us as women, you know, because of these things. It's just, it doesn't even make sense, right? We talked a lot about like outside pressures and criticisms from people who see that you're married